I can't believe it. This is a colony of Mexican psilocybe, one of the most powerful hallucinogenic mushrooms in the world. Professor Jones showed one of these in class when explaining Aztec rituals. Their sour odor is unmistakable, and the conditions for growth seem to be ideal. Humid and lacking sun. Only a strong adrenaline rush can counteract their effect. They're supposed to proliferate only in a few areas in central... I'm also wondering who put the... It can't be. The hull outline, the colors on the bulkheads, a red nightmare sailed on the sea. Its slender shape induced all to stop and admire it. The historian Jean de Leon described the Adventure Galley this way. This is it. The Adventure Galley. Kid's ship.
Who dares?
But, who said that?
Who dares board my ship without permission?
Who's talking? Are you a ghost? Show yourself.
How dare you give orders to me? Only I can give orders.
It can't be. I can't believe this. My God. Dad? Dad, is that really you?
I have no sons. I'm the Adventure Galley's captain. My name is only whispered in both the old and new worlds. Some people call me the Scourge of the Seas. I'm William Kidd. Who are you?
Dad, is that really you?
Don't be cheeky, boy. I already told you. Are you questioning the word?
Don't you recognize...
What tone is this? Boy.
What happened to you? You're not...
Don't you ever mention that name in my presence. If it wasn't for their betrayal, instead, Morgan and Black... But nobody can... Remember well these two names, because they're the worst enemies of Kid's crew. Morgan and Blackbeard. What I wouldn't give to meet you face to face. And now, speak plain.
Captain, I'm the new deckhand you were waiting for.
It's about time. You have permission to board and immediately get to work. The bridge needs a clean sweep. Ask the quartermaster to give you everything you need to make the ship shine. I'm going back to my cabin now. I have to plot the route for our next destination. Tortuga is...
What's happening here? How could Dad still be alive? I better get on the galley right now. The ship is completely deserted. I guess Dad, or Kid as he now considers himself, is in his cabin to the stern of the ship. According to a chronicle of the period, these wooden mannequins were used to make the crew size appear larger. The fear factor and the number of armed men visible was usually enough to win a battle without even fighting. Somebody carved the name they gave to this mannequin in the wood. It would be better to use the stairs.
What's happening now? I hope it's something important.
Sorry, Cap.
Good. Go back.
This old sword could come in handy. Maybe I can learn how to handle it. If I'm not mistaken, near my house they just opened a school. The Sword Master. That should guarantee success. Yuck. The hilt is all sticky. This cannon is... I should have a valid reason to... This cannon is... I should have a... This cannon... I should have... This cannon is... I should have a... Why on earth should I leave? It's locked. If, as I suppose, this is the door to the hold, they have surely reinforced it. I obviously need... I could ask the captain if he... It looks like a voodoo doll. Some prankster guest of Kid must have left it here after his stay. Better not touch it. I wouldn't want its curse to remain active on some descendant of the represented person. An old three-cornered hat. I think it belonged to some captain, or someone from the upper class anyway. Some well-preserved clothes. I can't take it. I can't read. I can't. Dad is seated at the cap. There's a strange smell coming from the cabin. I can't take. I can't reach it. I can't take them. I can't take it. I can't reach it. Don Quixote de la Mancha. It's one of the first. Life on the Seas, Rules and by William Kidd. It seems Kidd was writing a treatise.
What's happening now? I hope it's something important.
I'll need the key to access the hold.
You still aren't an official member of the crew. Every new member must get to know the ship.
I think I already saw
Let's see if this is true of you. First, name at least one member of the crew, except the captain, that you met on board.
Jimbo.
Second question. According to which code have the rules of life on board been drafted?
Life on the Seas, by Kidd.
Third and last question. How many battles have we faced until today?
$14.
I'm sorry. The answer... You still aren't ever...
I think I...
Let's see. First. Second question.
Life on the...
Third and last question.
$27.
I'm sorry. The answer...
I'll need...
You still... Every new...
I think I...
Let's see. First.
Jimbo.
Second question.
Life on...
Third...
36.
I'm sorry. The answer...
Captain.
Is this the...
I hoped to understand...
I have no time to get angry now. You can hear my story. What? This anyway, stealing the anything else?
There are rats.
That's the reason you've been brought up. Try to earn anything else.
I'll need the.
You still every new.
I think I.
Let's see if this is first. Second question.
Life.
Third and last. I'm sorry. The answer.
So
Good. Go.
Here it's written that Dr. Alfred Every gave a few artifacts. I'm curious to know what those artifacts. Surely Steve could. Don Quixote de la Mancha. It's one of the first. Life on the Seas, Rules and Tasks on Board a Ship by William Kidd. It seems Kidd was right. I can't take. It's one of the oldest cannons on the ship. It has probably never been replaced. You can tell by the notches engraved on it. Every notch shows a battle in which it was shot. 8 notches, so 8 battles. An interesting tidbit of information. I guess it's still armed and ready to fire.
What's happening now? I hope it's something important.
I'll need the.
You still aren't in every new.
I think I already.
Let's see it first.
Jimbo. Life on the.
Third and.
8.
Well done. You have the honor of becoming among us. There's a pack you deserve.
Thanks, Captain.
Good.
Perfect. Wow! The legends were true. This is the result of years of piracy in all the seas of the world. It's a mask. It doesn't seem to come from the Americas. I think it's the loot plundered from the assault on some ship coming from Europe. This old mannequin was used to deceive the enemy. The more mannequins there were, the larger and more dangerous the crew seemed. I could use it to distract my dad and enter his cabin. If I could disguise it as a pirate, I could make it pass for one of Kid's most bitter enemies. If I'm not mistaken, he named Morgan and Blackbeard earlier. I really see it. They seem the right size. I don't think it's starting to look like a member of a classy type. The hat makes it look more. This gives it an aura of mystery. Let's try to make it discreetly threatening.
What's happening now?
Captain, there's Morgan on the bridge.
Morgan. Damn scoundrel. You finally came back for the final showdown. It's really you, foul traitor. What nerve you dare show. By returning to the ship you turned your back on after it welcomed you as a child. Prepare yourself.
While Dad is busy, I can Dad has placed the logbook to protect the chalice's contents. Since I'm here, I bet. The same acrid smell of the mushrooms This could explain. Dad managed to survive all these. Even in small quantities, they sustain any organism that feeds. On the other hand, Dad's state of shock following his fall from the cliffs, combined with the sight of. If he keeps drinking from this chalice, I have to get rid of this chalice. Professor Jones taught us that first the chalice and then the adrenaline.
It's time to end the game. Don't show your face again, Morgan.
Look who's back. Henry and his kid, the young Morgan.
How did you manage to get here, Steve?
It wasn't difficult. I was looking for you all over town, and suddenly, what a stroke of luck, I saw you entering the crypt in the graveyard. I waited for you a long time. Eventually, I decided to enter and I saw the tunnel. Henry, I didn't think you were still alive. I am partly relieved. My regret was consuming me. In the end, you were right. Kid's ship was docked here in Bone Town.
How dare you come aboard my ship without permission and offend a member of my crew? Who are you?
Henry, don't you recognize me? It's me.
Dad! Captain! It's Blackbeard. He was also able to get on board.
Blackbeard. Yes, I recognize you now. I see that you and Morgan are still inseparable. You'll end up just like him.
Henry! Not again.
You leave me.
I understand, Henry.
Let's see what you can do.
On guard!
It should work. It's not a cannonball, so it won't have such a devastating effect. And now the coup de grace. Fire! I did it! Heck, I didn't see that coming. The racket from the cannon was more devastating than the shell itself. Better go back on deck and alert Dad.
You don't stand a chance this time.
We'll see. I admit it. You defeated me, Henry.
A victory over a man who was once a friend has no value for me.
Captain, I'm sorry to interrupt your duel, but I think we need to go. The cave is collapsing.
Captain, what are you talking about?
The adrenaline caused by the duels with Jimbo and Steve is reducing the effect of the mushrooms. Hurry, let's go. There's not much time.
Not before seeing the treasure. I've never been so close to it, and I have no intention of leaving now.
But Steve, not now. There will be other opportunities in the future.
Yes, Steve. The kid's right. Let's run while we still can.
Henry, do you recognize me?
Steve, is that you? Oh, I'm not sure what's happening. It feels like I just woke up from a long dream.
There's no time, Dad. Let's go.
Dad? How come? Who?
You go! I want Kid's treasure. It represents my whole life's work. Henry, Just know that I didn't want any of this to happen.
Steve!
Farewell.
Dad, let's go!
Okay, I'll follow.
Dad, I finally found you.
Willy, is that really you? How long has it been?
10 years, Dad. 10 very long years.
10 years. So this means you received my letter.
Yes, but why did you only have it delivered after all this time?
I sensed that something was wrong with Steve. I could see it in his behavior. When I realized that the search for Kid's treasure was becoming an obsession, I started to suspect that he could hurt our family. I hid my piece of the map and decided to deal with him. You are a Morgan. You have the spirit of adventure in your blood. But you were only 5, and I didn't want to trouble Mom with such a burden. I hoped that in 10 years Steve's obsession would vanish. I decided that if anything ever happened to me, you, after turning the necessary age, would be ready to pick up from where I left off. So I sent the post-dated letter.
I read Steve's diary. I know you fell off the cliff. How did you survive?
A stroke of luck. I fell right into the sea, and the tide pushed me toward an underwater passage that led directly to the cave. I wanted to find a way to get back to the surface, but I had to recover my strength first. The last thing I remember is some really delightful mushrooms. Then, it's all a blank.
Dad, let's go back home. We have a lot of things to talk about. Plus, we have to find a way to tell Mom without making her faint.
Oh, Elizabeth. Yes, we should go back.
Ready to leave Bone Town once and for all?
Bone Town is not a bad town. As soon as the legal formalities are arranged, we could think about coming back here. Remember, deep inside the cave is still the Adventure Galley. Who knows how much it can still tell the world about the golden age of piracy.
Speaking of which, when I took the chalice, I also brought the ship's logbook with me. Here it is.